today's gospel, Jesus told his disciples a parable about the necessity for them to pray always without becoming weary. And he was speaking about the prayer of petition, asking for help. Yesterday evening, a couple treated me to dinner downtown, and after dinner, we were leaving the restaurant at about 7:30 and walking down the sidewalk, and a lady came up to us and asked, "Could you give me $1.50 for a bus pass? I've come up from Texas and I'm trying to find a job and I need to get to the north side." She had a familiar face and voice. I was not wearing a collar, and I said, "Well, I don't hand out money, but I'll take you to the bus depot and I'll buy you a bus pass." She didn't seem too excited about that possibility. She said, "I don't even know where the bus depot is." I said, "Well, it's over there, just a few blocks. Come on, let's go." So I started, and she came a little bit more slowly, and we probably hadn't walked more than 5 steps. And we get to a corner, and some young men were coming from the other side of the corner, and they said her name in their greeting. And I thought, that's who it is. I know her from the warming center. And she turned her back on me and was talking to them. And after a little while, I said her name, and I said, "Come on, let's go get that bus pass." And she said, "No, I'll be okay." She had asked for help, but she asked for $1.50 for a bus pass. I was ready to get the bus pass, not give her the $1.50. I was willing to help her, but not in the way she wanted, so we went our separate ways. Wouldn't it have just been much better had I handed her the $1.50? I mean, what's $1.50, right? It would have made her happy, and I wouldn't need to be bothered much. It's one of those beautiful opportunities for sterile gospel living. All done. However, it was not good for her to get exactly what she wanted, and it would not have been good for me to want to just quickly move on. We ask God for all kinds of things all the time. And probably at some point in our life, most of us, me included, had asked God for a winning lottery ticket, with the promise that at least 10% would go to church and charity. And imagine if when we were 20 years old, 20 years ago, or last week, God gave us what we wanted just because we asked. And then imagine a month later or so, we come down with some chronic disease, and we turn to the Lord and say, "Lord, what good is it to be a millionaire if I'm only going to live one more year to enjoy it?" And so the Lord grants perfect health. And then we say, "Lord, what good is it to be a millionaire and to live a long life if you have no one to share it with?" So the Lord grants a perfect soul to be the wonderful spouse. But Lord, what good is it to live a long, wealthy life with someone, but to have no children, to watch them grow and to hand on the inheritance to them? So the gift of fertility. And all these children who treat Dad the same way Dad treated God. And he gave them whatever they wanted, whenever they asked for it. And then he says, "Lord, what good is it to live a long, wealthy life with this family and these kids who aren't grateful for a single thing they have, and they get whatever they need? I'd like to exchange them for other kids who would appreciate what they have." Parenting is too difficult. If I review my petitions, particularly those that are for me, there are times when, in all honesty, they have kind of a tone similar And I'm guessing from time to time you may have done the same. Kind of like this lady from the Warming Center, who wants what she wants, and she wants it how she wants it. But we have to ask ourselves, what does God want? God wants a relationship. He wants to journey with us. He doesn't want to just give us the proverbial $1.50 and be rid of us. He wants something more. And God answers prayers. Jesus says, I tell you, God will see to it that justice is done speedily. Justice, that which is due to us, that which is due for our dignity, for our betterment. You who are parents understand this best. Parenting isn't easy. And God is always a faithful Father, including to those of us who are in our 80s and our 90s. And you think of his only begotten Son, Jesus of Nazareth, who in the Garden of Gethsemane asked for something for himself. And he asked it 3 times. Let this cup pass, Lord. This cup of suffering that will happen on Calvary on the morrow. And all the Father gave him was an angel to comfort him. But the cup remained. Because it was best for justice's sake, for the sake of Jesus of Nazareth, and for the sake of the world. And Jesus knew this, because even when he was asking for himself, he says, Father, if you are willing, take this cup away from me. Still, not my will, but yours be done. I wasn't being mean to the lady on 4th and Main. In fact, I think I was willing to go the extra mile or quarter mile, whatever it was, to the bus station. I was willing to do the more charitable thing. And God will always do the most charitable thing. He will give us not always what we want. He will give us whatever we need for our dignity, for our betterment. And so let us always be people who